Today on the TMZ Podcast.
Welcome to the TMZ Podcast. Harvey Levin here.
Courtney here. Jamie here.
So, we have a lot to talk about. Kanye West. He is a problem.
Yes.
He is just a problem. So, there's an experience I had that Maverick Carter, who is partners with LeBron James in his production company.
For the television show The Shop.
Yeah, and many other things they're producing. Maverick had a very similar experience that I had with him before he came on TMZ Live.
Yes. So they are scrapping an episode that they had with Kanye West, and it is because of, quote, hate speech and extremely dangerous stereotypes. And after talking to Kanye directly the day before we taped, I believed he was capable of a respectful discussion and he was ready to address all his recent comments. Unfortunately, he used The Shop to reiterate more hate speech and extremely dangerous stereotypes. I take full responsibility for believing Kanye wanted a different conversation and apologize to our guests and crew. Hate speech should never have an audience.
I love this that Maverick put out this statement and completely scrapped the entire episode of this, because at some point we've been having this conversation a lot in the newsroom. Where do you draw the line at with Kanye West and what you put out that he's saying? Because a lot of people might do it because you want to get the views, you want to get the reaction.
I was thinking of you actually last night because Kanye has come to TMZ several times.
Well, I got to tell you the story. Remember Kanye. He's been on twice.
Yes.
And the first time he was on, that's when he said slavery is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
The day before, that was a Monday. The day before, I think it was a Monday, the day before on Sunday, I went to his house for breakfast because I don't remember how we got in touch, but he said, come over for breakfast and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, he wanted to have a conversation with you.
And he wanted to know. So I go over there and spent 2 hours. And it was the same thing. He seemed lucid. It was conversational. There was nothing said that was alarming.
So then what was his reason of wanting to come to TMZ? What did he want to clear up?
I think I don't remember. Honestly, it's been now a while. Yeah. And I don't remember specifically. He wanted to come on. He wanted to talk about
his mental. It was about his mental illness.
No, it wasn't about his mental because
I went and the medication that he was on.
I went to his house to make sure that I didn't want to put him on if he was having this, one of these episodes. Yeah. And I remember leaving saying he seemed fine. I remember telling Reagan he seemed great. Mm-hmm. When was this? This must have been 4 or 5 years ago now.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
And so I was stunned. I was just stunned when he came in the office and then started this. And it feels like the same thing. What it's telling me is you can have a mental illness. And I mean, this is not some great revelation, but with Kanye, it was for me. Mm-hmm. You can have a mental illness, a serious mental illness, and still be able to make choices. Speaking of choices, Kanye.
Yeah.
And Kanye, I think, made choices. And when he came on TMZ Live and talked about that, when he's been talking about the anti-Semitism, talking about Kim Kardashian, talking about their family when he was running for president, all of those things, people said he's out of his head. He doesn't know what he's talking about. You can't blame him for it because he's having an episode. When I read this with Maverick, I just started thinking there are two Kanyes, a Kanye that wants to present himself a certain way, and then maybe the authentic Kanye. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying mental illness doesn't play a part, but this is too sophisticated that you can have a discussion that makes somebody believe, okay, we'll do a show with him, and all of a sudden it goes off the rails.
So Kanye calls you today. Do you let him on TMZ Live?
Well, no, for a whole bunch of reasons. It is just ramped up. He is anti-Semitic. Mm-hmm. He has been hateful. He has been awful. I mean, the things he's done to Kim Kardashian and the family, releasing the name of the school.
It's so dangerous. I don't even know why he would do that.
In these times, and to say that Kim is denying me the ability and basically putting a spotlight, not just on the kids, If you had a kid, if one of your kids went to that school.
Oh,
no, because he was.
I'm
you have
not,
three
of course,
kids.
I thought of it. That's one of the first things I thought of. I would be nervous anyway. She's the most famous woman in the world. Mm-hmm. And now a man with crazy fans and followers is spewing out where they go. No way.
No way, meaning what?
I don't know how far it goes. Do you take them out of the school? You certainly show up at the principal's office
That's
and say,
he
what are we going to
wants,
do?
though. So she's in a terrible position because I feel like he's doing this because he wants all the kids to go to Donda. They want him to go to his school, and I feel like he's just pressuring. And like, what do you do if you're?
I don't know what the end game is. I really don't.
I got to tell you, there's no end game. They are joined at the hip for the rest of their lives, and he is. They're going to be graduations. There are going to be marriages and babies and parties.
We saw how
holidays.
the last birthday party went.
And somehow Kim Kardashian is going to have to figure out how to navigate this. I have no idea how she's going to do that.
Before we move on, I do have one very important question for you. It's a little bit of a left turn, but it's really important. What does Kanye West serve you for breakfast?
I don't remember.
What?
I don't.
What?
I don't remember.
Oh.
I want to know what the line was. What was he saying that was so bad in this interview that he hasn't already said?
I bet
that
they
felt the need to scrap it.
It's got to be more anti-Semitism.
You know what I think it is? I think that maybe they said to him, see, what I'm thinking is he had a discussion with Maverick the day before, and Maverick, he's a really smart guy. Maverick had to address Kanye, what about these anti-Semitic comments? What about what you've said?
The White Lives Matter
The White
shirt.
Lives Matter shirt. What about all of this?
And he doubled down.
No,
You don't think he doubled down and said, I believe in all of this?
I think if he did, they never would have put him on the show.
You mean in the private
in
conversation
the private
before.
conversation
Correct.
beforehand.
Yes.
So I think he basically bamboozled Maverick and made Maverick believe that somehow there was going to be an explanation, whether it's because I think he's listening to somebody.
Yes.
I think he's listening to somebody.
Schmoens.
I just think he's listening to somebody. And look, Maverick never would have put him on if he doubled down.
No.
And to
you
not,
can tell that he
yeah.
would never because he already is not airing it, so he would have never done it in the first place.
Okay, I want to do something now. I watched Jake Tapper's show last night on CNN.
I just watched this clip. Oh.
And I got to tell you, I thought the show was good, and I thought it was interesting. It's they're trying to kind of update things a little bit, and they had Biden on, and it was fun. It was okay. It was fine.
But
no, I thought it was a well-produced show, and I thought it was an interesting show. I really did. It was his first show for during prime time, and I thought it was good. He had Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on, which I think is great programming, and I thought that was really smart again.
yeah.
And he talked to him about his latest movie, Black Adam,
Yep.
and that was really interesting. And then he said, "We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to The Rock about why he's not going to run for president." And so I thought, okay, I'll stick around. And Jake Tapper asked the question, a simple question, which is, why did you decide not to run? And there was like a 5-minute answer to this that was
Just absurd. I left watching the interview being like, the audacity of The Rock. I used to love him, but like honestly, to feel that confident about yourself, because he was like, it's been years on years. People have been telling me like I
Both
need to
sides,
run.
both
sides.
parties.
He was like, the polls went from 45 to over 50, and he was like, everyone just like wants me to run. And he goes, and then you really think about it, like, should I run? And he's almost feeling like he's like letting down the American people by not running. And then I love it. He blames it on his kids. He was like,
well, he didn't blame it. He said,
"Come
I'm
on,
a
a dad. I want to be there for my children."
Oh, I loved that because he did then later say that he kind of messed up with his first kid. He was working. He never, now he gets to do the drop-offs. That part was sweet. It was the
great.
beginning was a bit much.
Well, okay, here's a little bit of what he said.
Last year, there were a lot of articles about you maybe running for president, but I understand you are ruling that out.
As we get into the midterms, and even a couple of years ago, this idea and the question continues to pop up on whether or not I would run for president. Would I seriously consider it? And I have seriously considered it. You have to. When you start looking at some of these polls and these numbers creep up into the 46%, 50% of the country would vote for me should I run. And I've been really moved by that. I mean, truly, it sat me down. I don't know anything about politics, and I'm a patriot, and I love our country, and I love everybody in it, regardless of color or culture. But the most important job that I have is daddy. And my two whys, why I have to take that off the table of running for president. One is 6 and the other one is 4.
Okay, look, I gotta say, and this went on and on and on. I really like this guy. B, I think he's really smart. I really do. I think
He
he's
sounds
really
like a politician already.
No,
with
no,
his
no. But
answers.
he is when you listen to him, he's a very, very smart, thoughtful guy, and I really mean that. The question honestly should have been at some point interrupt and say, why do you think you should be president? Why do you think you're qualified to be president? Because he is talking like, yeah, it's something you have to seriously consider. Why?
I know.
Why? It's like, why do you have to seriously consider it? Yeah, maybe it's flattering and we get it, but why? Is there something that when you say you seriously considered it, do you think you're up for that job? Because here's the problem with it, that Donald Trump was in my opinion, was a fiasco for America. And that doesn't mean that somebody who's outside of politics can never be a president, because they can, but you got to be careful. And when he's just talking, the polls are so, strong in my favor because the American people think, oh, The Rock, I want to make The Rock president. It's like, that doesn't mean you necessarily should seriously consider it if you don't have any background to do it.
In the beginning of his answer, and I love The Rock, but the beginning of his answer was very Trump. What polls? He's talking polls as if they're fact. The polls. Well, what are the polls? Are we talking on TMZ.com that yes or no?
That's what I was asking. I was like, what polls are these?
What polls? Because it said with fact, not opinion.
No, I know.
Everybody wants me to run.
But I want to get back to, it's like, you have to seriously consider it.
Why?
Yeah.
Why do you have to seriously consider it?
He's never even said where he stands.
No.
I don't even know if he's a Democrat or a Republican.
Again, I think that's irrelevant.
Oh, not 45 president.
How do you think you can pull the levers of government effectively?
Yeah.
He said 45 seconds into the thought after he said he seriously considered it that he knows nothing about politics. Then why are you even considering it? If you know nothing about politics, like you just said that you do, why would you consider it? Be like, oh my God, I'm awesome. Of course I am.
Well, when he said
non-politician.
I know nothing about politics, I thought, okay, finally he's going to now explain it. But he didn't. He didn't. He just pivots. Look, Ronald Reagan was an actor who became president, but he was governor for 2 terms in California. I think, Ronald Reagan, there are a lot of people who think, oh my God, he was a great president. I think he was anything but a great president. This is a guy, by the way, everybody talks about Reagan being this humane guy and everything else. Not necessarily, certainly at the beginning of the AIDS crisis, that didn't happen. But beyond that, I remember when Patty Hearst was kidnapped and they had a food giveaway because the Symbionese Liberation Army, which kidnapped Patty Hearst, one of their demands was we want a food giveaway in Oakland for poor people. And there ended up being poorly organized, and there was basically a food riot going on for people to get the food. And Ronald Reagan said something to the effect of, I just hope it has botulism in it.
What?
Yes.
Woof.
Yes. So that all said, at least he had 8 years as governor of California.
Yeah.
And, there's something to say for that. But to say I'm going to go from wrestler to actor to president,
It's absurd.
And you have to seriously consider it because of some poll that he's talking about. Anyway,
Can I say one thing about this interview?
I want to say I really like the guy.
Oh, see?
No, I do.
This interview made me not like him.
Oh, you're going to not stop buying his tequila, girl.
No. Oh, I do love tequila. But I will say, I did love in this when they were talking
God,
about Black Adam.
she is such a cheap hypocrite.
Did you know that they put muscle pads on him? He's already The Rock, and they added more muscle to him.
No. But then they took it off. He said that they.
He said they did do that?
Yeah, because Tapper said that they actually had to take some of the muscles off you, which is true because he was so big that the padding made him look absurd.
The polls said he was too big.
I love this next story of Jamie Foxx.
Oh, okay.
Wait, you were going to do another one first?
I was going to do Heidi, but you do Jamie. You do Jamie.
Okay, so Cardi B turned 30 years old, which is shocking to me. I feel like this girl has lived like 10 lives.
And all I'm thinking is she's so young.
Oh, really? Oh,
well, that's
so
what we're
different.
saying. She's young, but it feels like she should be 57. She's lived so much.
But I love it. She had a huge birthday bash. Jamie Foxx shows up, tries to roll in with 5 people, gets denied. Jamie Foxx gets denied going to the birthday
Not
party.
because of him.
Because there was too many people in the club already, so he couldn't bring all those people.
Well,
in.
no, but
I'm
they said you can bring 2 in.
Yeah, but you're Jamie Foxx. You're not going to do that. You take out some of the other people and you let me and my people come in. It's Jamie Foxx. Cardi wants him there, and you could tell that the bouncers messed up because they chased after him.
Now, the question is, when they chased after him, the one thing I don't understand is, were they going to allow all of his people to come back or still just...
Jamie wasn't even letting them get in out. There's like sound of him. He was like, no, I'm good. Bye. And the guy was like, are you sure? Like, you can come. And he was like, bye, I'm out. And just like leaves and gets into his car. No, if you're Jamie Foxx, you can't walk back into that club.
Why?
Because
it's embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing.
Oh, God. Oh, the bullshit in Hollywood.
It's not.
It's so embarrassing. You have to stand your ground.
It's like
on
getting
that.
waitlisted somewhere.
Yeah.
You got waitlisted into Harvard. You didn't really get into Harvard. You got in eventually.
No, because they were more than happy to let him in, just not with 5 people.
Nope.
I don't care.
They weren't denying Jamie Foxx.
They did deny
No,
him,
because of the
basically.
number of people.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't
He's
matter.
Jamie Foxx. He can bring the whole Lakers team if he wants.
You think if all the Kardashians
I
walked
wish
up
I
there and
could
there was
remember,
5 of
guys.
them?
We saw this before, and it happened on La Cienega.
Yes, wasn't it Paul McCartney that he got
No,
denied?
he did get denied, but that was a different thing.
Oh, okay.
That was they didn't recognize him, but there was something on La Cienega where they wanted to bring a bunch of people in, and exactly the same thing. You can come in, but you can't bring a crew in, and then it became a big thing outside.
Was that Michael B. Jordan's party?
I don't
Michael
remember.
B. Jordan getting denied at Diddy's?
All I'm saying is, okay, so the guy said you can only bring 2 people in, and
What do you do with your friends? Hey, just hang out while
I guess,
we go in?
I
Like,
guess.
It's rude. They all work
I was
together.
more upset that he wore sweats to a themed party. Have some respect and wear a burlesque outfit, James.
oh my God.
I did love it.
Speaking of
Yes,
outfits,
okay.
I hate
So
this.
I don't have a problem with this. All right, so Heidi Klum, supermodel, gorgeous. She's got a daughter.
God,
Lynn.
can I tell you, we had her on TMZ Live.
Stunning.
Oh my God.
There's a reason they're supermodels.
Oh,
yeah.
but no.
No, they have an aura.
Especially her. I was stunned.
She's got a real career ahead of her. Her daughter Lenny, 18, also gorgeous, child with Flavio Briatore, the Italian billionaire. Anyway, she's getting into modeling, and they're modeling together, and they're both wearing lingerie for an Italian company called Intimissimi. And people
good.
are. I don't know if I said it right, but if you say it
Sounded
confidently,
good,
it's
yeah.
fine.
By the way, can I just stop you?
What?
Oh my God. I'm sorry for this detour.
I love a detour.
Gio, my assistant,
Speaking of Italians.
who is very Italian. Gio, there's this Italian restaurant that I really love. And now do not mention the name. I think you know.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I told Gio, I sent Gio there and his wife for their anniversary. And so Gio comes back and he says, it was really good. And I said, there's a but coming. He said, yeah. He said, those Italian accents are all fake.
Oh. You know what? If the food's good.
But
who
they're the
cares?
thickest Italian
Yeah.
accents. And I was going to
question.
go.
Did you ever notice that they were fake Italian accents?
Here's what's so funny. I was going to go last weekend, and the people we were going to go with had to cancel. So I called the restaurant up, and they said, Buonasera. And they did this whole thing. And I said, I apologize, I have to cancel. And they said, what time are you going? And I gave them the time. And they said, what's your name? And I said, Harvey Levin. And I had been there before, and they recognized me. And all of a sudden, the guy sounds like he's from Fresno. And he didn't even realize it. So Gia was totally right.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Anyway, so
Outstanding.
they.
Boy, that was a left turn.
I love left turn. But anyway, so they're modeling and they're in lingerie and they're together. It does not bother me at all. But most of the country feels differently. They think it's weird.
I think it's appalling. It's your mom.
Okay,
you
but
wanna
here,
post sexy
listen.
with your mom.
No.
I think there's only one thing worse.
Why is that bad?
It's gross.
Why?
No,
But
like,
hold on. Why?
Because you want to post sexy and sexual with your mom, like her.
No.
dad-
There's a difference between sexy and
to
sexual.
me, it's not sexual.
No.
And to me,
You're in lingerie.
no, but let me explain. This is Heidi Klum's uniform. I feel like I know her body, like, you know what I mean? It's not sexy anymore. That's what she does. That's her job. So no,
This is starting to sound like a Sam Hunt song.
It is.
do me like if me and Mimi Shaps or you and
Me and Mama Doucette
Diane
are not
Doucette are
posing.
posing, that's a different story. And it's not sexual. They're not touching each other. There's not. It was
You know
not
what?
ever
touching each other.
Wait a minute.
their arms.
Denise Austin, the fitness. Okay, she, her daughter was on Sports Illustrated cover, I think. And so Denise went down to Miami where they were shooting it, and they took pictures together in bikinis in the same sort of shot. It's that kind of thing. There's nothing wrong with
it's
it.
so weird. So like, what if this like her daughter has a boyfriend? You want her boyfriend looking at you
Oh,
and your mom in
God.
lingerie?
People
Well,
have
no.
such a
But
hang
that's
up in
his
this country.
That's her job. The boyfriend has seen her mom in her underwear.
Why?
Because that's her. She's the most famous woman on the planet.
No, I would not be okay with that.
I mean, really, you have a.
It weirds me out. I saw it yesterday. I had to immediately click out of it because it grosses me out. Why are you
God.
trying to be sexy with your mom? It's your mom.
She's not coming on to her mom.
You don't know.
Oh my God.
Like, no, I don't. It just grosses me out. The only thing weirder is sisters posing together.
I was
sexy.
gonna say, why are we okay with the Kardashians? On
I'm
their
not.
hot
Yeah.
photos?
I'm not okay. I find it very weird that they're licking strawberries out of like each other's mouth.
Well,
That's my sister.
okay, so what happens to pillow fights?
Okay, that's
Kidding.
your guys' weird fantasy.
We'll see you tomorrow.